our oral communication. Okay. And next time, during the Second World War, he lived in England and assisted the war effort with his language skill, publishing 3 booklets. Booklets, that means a small tiny book, about the French language to assist soldiers preparing for the invasion of Normandy. Okay, so at that time there was a fighting between Duke of Normandy and England. At that time he had been assisting this situation during the Second World War. Okay, so these 3 linguistics, who? Otto Jesperson, Henry Sweet and Harold Palmer, they developed principles and theories as to design the language teaching program, courses and course materials. Before that we didn't have. Here again we have the traditional method GTM, but what we will be dealing with the course materials, what we will be dealing with the syllabus, and what will be the principles and methods in case of English language teaching, we didn't know after that. So these 3 men, that means Harold Palmer, Otto Jesperson and Henry Sweet, they initiated the principles and other methods relating to second language. Okay, so they initiated that, and they also thought that learning vocabulary and the grammar as the ways of learning English language cannot be applied in practical English language teaching. Okay, so vocabulary you will be learning, grammar we will be learning, that's okay, but they say that will not be very much helpful in case of our oral communication. We are in a position to develop some other methodologies relating to oral communication. What is the oral communication? That is the practical usage of applying your knowledge of language. Okay, that is the situation. They also tried to answer why the materials developed by them are useful in ELT. They also said that why. They had been prescribing several issues, and they also had been talking that why they are important for English language teaching. It is worthy to mention that the linkage between the philosophy of language and the language teaching theory and the principles and the set of the procedures for language teaching is important matter. So they also said that actually the relation between principle and the method and the approach, everything is very important. So if we know many theories regarding, okay, if you can give the example of the theory, okay, how to drive a car. So I would say that it is a auto gear vehicle. So if you pull your steering in this way, car will go in this way, and if you pull the steering in this way, car will, and if you fixed, car will go straight. And there is a 2 pedal, one pedal is brake pedal and another pedal is accelerator pedal. So this is the theory, how to drive a car. But after getting this theory, can you drive a car?
No.
Before, previously we had GTM, we had so many theories, but this man initiated, that is the practical needs of English language teaching, just like the knowing the theoretical aspects, how to drive a car. In 1963, American applied linguist Edward Anthony tried to find out the relation between English language teaching theories and method. Getting this idea, finally we have got Edward Anthony. He come up with the relation and the linkages among methods, approaches and principles in English language teaching. He talked. Who talked? Edward Anthony. He thought that we have to make a relationship or linkages among these principles in such a way, that is, the conceptualization and the organization of the linkage between language teaching and theories and practices, which are termed as approach, method and so getting all this idea that I have told earlier. So what is the relation between applied linguistics and the theoretical language? Okay, getting all this idea. So they started, Otto Jesperson, Henry Sweet and Harold Palmer, they started the principles, the ways, and also Harold Palmer started teaching in his institution and other perspectives or about the oral method. But this is the first time Edward Anthony initiated that yes, that issues and the principles can be termed with these three terms. What are the terms? That is approach, method, and these are the way the method approach initiated. Most probably you have got the initial idea, is it? So, what is an approach then? Now we are in a position. Then that was asked that approach a set of correlative assumption. Assumption means unuman. A set of correlative assumptions dealing with the nature of language teaching and learning. As I have said, that approach is the theoretical underpinning of language learning. That means theoretical relation of language learning. So set of correlative assumption, hypothesis or imagination, and that would be dealing with language learning and teaching. Okay, so that is approach. The way, that means the আমরা অনুমান করলাম, আমরা hypothesis করলাম that this is the approach. If we learn language in such a way, that would be appropriate. And approach is axiomatic. Axiomatic, just like proverbs. Yeah. Yes. Just like idioms and proverbs. Okay. যে এটাকে কেউ কি অস্বীকার করতে পারবে না, কারণ আমরা যেমন বললাম যে আসলে আমরা শুনেই ভাষা শিখি, আসলেই তো আমরা শুনেই ভাষা শিখি। ওকে, সো অ্যাপ্রোচ ইজ axiomatic, so it is relating to all language learners, and it describes the nature of language to be taught, and in which way the language will be taught. It will be describing what, that is approach will be describing that how language is learned and how language is taught and how it functions to human being or the human being's brain. That is assumption or the theory. And second time is that theory is axiomatic. Method, a plan for the serial presentation of the language teaching materials. So after getting the assumption, you will be trying to put some things or some method. Just for an example, we all will admit that we learn language by listening. বাচ্চাকে তো আমরা ABCD সরিয়ে সরিয়া প্রথমে শিখাই না, শিখাই? তাহলে বাচ্চা 3 বছরে কিভাবে ভাষা শেখে? অবশ্যই শুনে, তার বাবা মার কাছ থেকে শুনে, তার ভাই বোনের কাছ থেকে শুনে। তাহলে এটা হলো কি থিওরি। এখন তাহলে আমরা বাচ্চাকে কি করলাম, মনে করলাম যে ইয়েস, বাচ্চা যদি শুনেই শেখে, আমি এটা মানলাম না। জাস্ট লাইক ভিম লিকুইডের মতো, আমি এটা মানি না। তারপরে কি হলো, হ্যাঁ, দেয়ার ওয়াজ আ রিসার্চ, এটা গবেষণা হয়েছে যে যদি এটাকে আমরা যদি বাদ না দেই, তাহলে জন্মের পরে একটা বাচ্চাকে যদি ইফ উই কিপ আ চাইল্ড ইন আইসোলেশন, তার সাথে কেউ কথা বললো না, তার সাথে কেউ কথা বললো না, তখন কি করে, সে কি কথা শিখবে? It has been researched that had not been done. একটা বাচ্চাকে জন্মের পরে 1-2 বছর যদি তার সাথে কোনো প্রকার কথা না বলা হয়, তাহলে সে শিখবে না। And sometimes always others will be taking. And now we have got a tendency that 1 বছরের বাচ্চা কিছু খায় না, মোবাইলে কি দিয়ে দিলাম, মোবাইল হাতে দিলাম, দিয়ে কার্টুন দেখলো আর খাইলাম। এই বাচ্চাগুলোর ক্ষেত্রে কি হয়, নেক্সট টাইম যখন বড় হয়, এই বাচ্চাগুলো কি করতে পারে না, কমিউনিকেট করতে পারে না। সব সময় কি করে, তারা ওই মনে হয় যে ও কনসেন্ট্রেট কোথায় করছে, কারণ তার লিসেনিংটা হচ্ছে। সো দ্য অ্যাপ্রোচ ইজ দ্যাট উই লার্ন বাই লিসেনিং, উই লার্ন ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ বাই লিসেনিং। মেথড ইজ দ্যাট ইন হুইচ ওয়ে ইউ উইল ট্রাই টু ইন্ট্রোডিউস দ্যাট listening, and a plan for the serial presentation of language teaching materials. Okay, so that is method. Language teaching material will not contradict each other. Okay, so language teaching materials, so listening will be there. Okay, so you have to listen, but in which way you will not be listen, not like that যে আপনাকে বিভিন্নভাবে একটার জায়গায় আরেকটা লিসেনিং করতে হবে। কন্ট্রাডিক্ট উইল নট কন্ট্রাডিক্টিং ইচ আদার, and different sets of language teaching materials are for the different approaches. Okay, so different set of language teaching materials. Okay, In that regard, we have got several methods. Okay. প্রত্যেকটা, okay,